All right, hello everyone. My name is Jordan McWilliams, and I'll be talking about the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind for this project. So, what is Morrowind? Morrowind is the third game in the Elder Scrolls series, and it was released in 2002. And it's a large open world action RPG game, and it takes place on the island of Vvardenfell, which is just a tiny province of the land of Morrowind. And this is just a tiny area in the big world of Tamriel, which the other Elder Scrolls games like Oblivion and Skyrim are in as well. So the main quest focuses on a deity named Dagoth Ur and his attempts to gain power and break free from the imperial reign he's held under. But the plot isn't too important for this presentation, so I'll skip over it for the most part. So thought we should talk about learning to play in Morrowind and some of the weird things that are different about many other games than Morrowind. So a lot of information comes directly from other like NPCs in the game, um, like quest information or plot information. And what's a little bit weird about it, based on what's different than Oblivion and Skyrim at least, is there is no quest markers which lead you to quests and areas to go. So what this means is you have to be you really have to pay attention to what other players are saying and really internalize it because a lot of the times they'll be giving you directions to the quest, and it's a very large open world game. So when they say like go up the mountain and then head left and then take a right at the bridge, blah blah blah, you really have to actually focus on that. If otherwise, you will get completely lost and have to use a walkthrough like I've had to do before. Um, Otherwise, a lot of information not from the player comes from books found in the game. Um, and these books are just found all over throughout other people's houses, on the ground, just wherever there are books found. And they have information about the plot a lot of the time, or they also have information about like skills and stuff you can learn, like alchemy or stealth or some stuff, just like tips and tricks you can find throughout the game. So for some of my independent research, one of the pieces I used was a chapter in James Palgee's book, What Video Games Have to Teach Us. I'm focusing on identity. So, and I focused my paper's talk on the virtual identity and how this can help foster learning through it, just making deeper connections with your character. And there's two main ways you can do this I found in Morrowind, which is accessorizing and maintaining your reputation with other non-playable characters. So accessorizing is obviously being able to give your character like different clothes or weapons or abilities or followers, just things that make your character the way you want to make them, make them so how you can represent them, I guess. And reputation has a big effect in the game of like how do you want other players to treat you or see you or talk to you, and that's based on a lot of different things. But sometimes players won't give you quests if you have too low of a reputation, or sometimes um, players won't talk to you or give you worse trading deals or a bunch of stuff like that. And basically, through these two things, you get more immersed and connected to your character, and that helps you think more clearly and deeply about in-game problems and decisions you need to make, and that's how that fosters learning, says James Palgee. And for the game modification section, one major complaint players usually have is the learning curve is extremely steep for this game. There's a lot of information thrown at you, and they don't really explain a lot of it to you. So pretty much if you want to have a really good experience playing the game, you're going to need some sort of online walkthrough or guide because there's no way you'll figure out everything in the game by yourself. So my suggestion is that at the start there should be a bigger like tutorial section. I said fish tank type tutorial if you're familiar with that. So you can get experience with all sorts of skills like alchemy, enchanting, spell making, and combat. Um, so some examples of this, like the first enemy I fought in the game was a tiny, like, level 1 worm, and I died over and over to this worm because the combat system was never explained. And the combat system in Morrowind is very strange, and this was a very common occurrence. I've read on different forums and blogs that, like, this level 1 worm just killing, like, level 20 players over and over because it's so difficult or just so strange how the combat system works. And there's no tutorial teaching you how to do it. So you just have to look it up. And I didn't realize you could make spells and potions throughout the game. Like, you can make your own customizable ones that is different than in any other Elder Scrolls game I played. I didn't even realize you could do that. And yeah, I thought maybe on the first mission you could have just a little tutorial or something that could teach the player how to craft spells or potions or something like that, and then maybe fight an enemy at the end. And I think that would be a big help, just for learning at least. And then I mentioned that the succeeding Elder Scrolls games like Oblivion and Skyrim do a lot better explaining these things, but and a lot of their more skills and stuff are a lot more intuitive in those games. So thank you for watching my presentation.